Hey Guardians, I just want to let everyone know that I do have both a Twitch and a Twitter, and I'm very active on both. Feel free to come give me a follow on both, links in the description. Hey Guardians, so I wanted to take just a quick minute to give my first thoughts on the new comp weapon, the Riposte. I actually have no idea how to pronounce this, but the new comp auto rifle. And this one's pretty interesting, so it's a lightweight auto rifle. I think there's only one other lightweight auto in the game. I think it was like a green or like a blue weapon from like year one of Destiny 1. So it's definitely unique, right? 720 RPM, lightweight frame, so you get that plus 20 to your mobility, which is really nice. It feels really good to get that little boost to your speed just from having the weapon out. And when I first got this weapon on week 1 of Final Shape, I wasn't too thrilled with it. In fact, I thought it was pretty bad. And then this week I got, of course, 3 more. The problem is that I don't know if it's bugged or what, but I got the exact same roll right down to the barrel, mag, and masterwork on all 3 of my characters. So I have no idea what was going on there, but I spent some more time with it, and this weapon has definitely grown on me, but it still has some issues, right? Being a 720 for one thing. Now, don't get me wrong, I love 720 auto rifles. I think that they're a lot of fun. The problem with them, though, is that they really just kind of get bullied by SMGs, mainly because they just don't have a lot of range. I would still say that 450s and some 600s, such as the like the Summoner, are definitely better than something like a 720, but 720s are still fun to be sure. But the range on 720s is really the big issue, right? So 24 meters at base. There are quite a few submachine guns that really don't have a lot of issue reaching into that sort of range, right? And keep in mind, Shayura's Wrath is back this season, and if you're wondering what that looks like, a max range Shayura's, which I do have full bore on here just because, to be honest, on a precision frame SMG, that loss to stability doesn't matter that much. And even with the hit to your handling, chances are if you're using something like this, you're going to be on a PK's Titan, so it doesn't matter anyway. But with full bore, ricochet rounds, range masterwork, 23.4 meters, so almost hitting that 24 meter mark. But with full bore, ricochet rounds, range masterwork, adept range mod, 99 range, you're basically hitting that 24 meter range mark, 23.4 meters. And if you have killing wind and it's procced, that goes up to 24.7 meters, so basically 25 meters. So keeping that in mind, looking at rolls on this auto rifle, I would probably first be looking at basically maxing out the range. I would go with hammer forged instead of full bore, because on this weapon, I don't think the hit to your stability and handling is worth it, so I would take hammer forged here. Then obviously ricochet for range and stability, range masterwork, that takes you up to 29 meters, which gives you enough space to mostly stay out of range of something like a submachine gun. Granted, a PK's Titan is going to have no trouble at all closing that 4 to 5 meter gap, so you still have to be careful, but this gives you enough range you can stay out of the range of something like a Shayura's fairly comfortably. Then from there, if I was looking for like a dueling role, probably Zen Moment Dynamic Sway would be my first choice here, because one of my issues with this gun is the recoil on it is just very just weird. I'll see if I can put a clip up on the screen here, but this gun, for whatever reason, kind of seems to just cut hard right and then hard left, almost making this really odd kind of triangle pattern, which is just, it can make it a little bit annoying to try to control. And I really have not been a fan of the whole deterministic recoil thing that they added to all these weapons. I think I genuinely just much preferred it when just higher recoil direction is just what you wanted, and the higher it was, the more vertical the recoil was. The problem with deterministic recoil in a game like Destiny is when you have literally hundreds and hundreds of different weapons, you are not going to feasibly have the time to memorize the recoil on more than like a few of them. So definitely not a fan of the whole deterministic recoil thing in Destiny. In other games, I can see where it would work, where you don't have to, memorize, the recoil patterns on, like 300 different weapons. But in Destiny, I honestly just preferred the old system that we had. But Zen Moment and Dynamic Sway will just help reduce that recoil quite a bit. So that's the first combo I would be looking for. The next thing I would look or is maybe target lock. Target lock is not as influential on one of these as on other weapons. It never really has been on 720s. But with target lock, it can help you a little bit. If you have the accuracy to back it up, then target lock will reduce your TTK a little bit, and on lower resiliences, it can get an extra body shot in there. If you're fighting someone under tier 2, you can get an extra 2 body shots, but that's just not going to happen. So I would say being able to have one less shot at higher resiliences is the main reason you might want it. But again, that's only if you have the accuracy to back it up and hit those 10 crits consistently. If not, I would still stick with Zen Moment and Dynamic Sway Reduction. There is, of course, To the Pain, which is, this one's interesting. So while this weapon is equipped, taking damage increases handling and aim assist until the weapon is stowed. And the more damage you take, the more the effect is increased. Now, the only weapon I've had a chance to try this on in PvP is that, I can't remember the name of it, but the Stasis 2-round burst hand cannon from the Pale Heart, and I was not impressed with it at all there. But I'm not going to make a judgment on this perk yet because I've only had a chance to test it on one weapon, and it's a weapon I wasn't really expecting to be good in PvP anyway. So this might be an option, time will tell, but Zen Moment would still be my first choice in this column, mainly just for the flinch resistance and the recoil reduction. On the flip side, if you wanted to go with a more kill chaining oriented role, then I would probably go Zen Moment with Kill Clip, again for the recoil reduction and the flinch resistance. Or alternatively, maybe Killing Wind, just for the increase to your mobility and your range. That might be helpful here too, since with Killing Wind rocked, your range goes up to 34.6 meters, which would definitely be helpful. That would allow you to stay well out of the range of something like Shayura's Wrath, and it would give you the range to compete with like hand cannons and pulse rifles and rangier auto rifles, so that might be an option. Though keep in mind, Killing Wind is a kill perk, so you're not going to have this up as consistently as something like Zen Moment. Or lastly, with Kill Clip, maybe Enlightened Action, since with Enlightened Action, landing crits will increase your reload speed, which can help with Kill Clip quite a bit. But even then, for kill chaining, I would still go with Zen Moment. Now, as far as your stocks go, if we're talking a more dueling-oriented role, like Zen Moment Dynamic Sway, then I would probably look at Fitted Stock or Handlaid Stock. Fitted stock, just for the stability and recoil direction, help keep that really strange recoil on this weapon under control, and hand-laid stock, again, just for the stability increase. Alternatively, if you are going for a more kill chaining oriented role, then maybe short action stock just for the increase in handling, since with a kill chaining role, you're probably going to be more aggressive with this thing anyway, so the handling there is very helpful. Or I would go for hand laid stock just for the stability. Again, if you're being more aggressive, I would probably just avoid a fitted stock just that you don't take the hit to your handling. And then in either use case, composite stock will be fine. A little bit of stability and a little bit of handling. It's not great, but you know, it'll still be helpful. You'll still probably feel at least something of a difference there. Then pretty much regardless of that, for your masterwork, I would definitely look at a range masterwork. Now, one thing I do want to mention on this is the first comp weapon that has genuinely had a PvE role that I would really like to have, and that's Repulsor Brace with destabilizing rounds. Really just because these two perks feed perfectly into each other. So as long as you're slaying out with destabilizing rounds, you will pretty much always have that Repulsor Brace up, overshield up, which can be really helpful in certain PvE activities. Particularly ones where survivability is of the utmost importance, so maybe like, you know, a higher level Nightfall, something like that. Granted, that's if you're not using an exotic primary. Obviously, Sunshot is probably the best primary for PvE right now, but, you know, if you're on an exotic heavy or special, then this is a pretty good combo. This is something I would seriously consider. Now, I've tried this mostly on Hunter and Titan. I've done a little bit of it on Warlock, but so far I actually think this weapon feels the best on Titan. And we're just going to get into some gameplay here. I tried this mostly on Void Titan and Solar Titan, and this is where I think this weapon feels the best. Even though, like on a Hunter, that +2 mobility is certainly beneficial, I still think this just, for some reason, just feels better on a Titan. On a Hunter, I think you're probably better off going with something like Rose or something like that if you want a lightweight weapon, weapon, maybe, you know, a lightweight pulse rifle, just because those are weapons that will allow you to play cover a bit more effectively, which is definitely helpful because you're just going to be squishier on a hunter than on something like a Titan or even like a Warlock. So I would probably use this primarily on Titan. Plus that +2 mobility and Dune Marchers on a Titan feels so goddamn good. Like you are moving with that combo. But anyway, we'll get into some gameplay here just that you can see kind of what I've been doing with this weapon. So far, I'm enjoying it. If you're trying to be competitive, I would probably still take something like a Shayura's over the Riposte, but this is still a very fun weapon to be sure. First impressions are a little mixed. Hopefully, you know, next week we won't have that issue where I get the same roll on all 3 classes again, and I can maybe get some better rolls on this thing. But so far, I like it okay. I like it enough because it's a unique weapon that I will definitely be playing my 9 matches of comp every week. I don't think I'll be doing much comp outside of that because, to be perfectly honest, I'm not happy with where comp is right now. But I'll at least play my 9 matches so I can get this auto rifle. But anyway, we'll get into the gameplay. You guys can let me know your thoughts on this weapon in the comments. I like it, I just don't think it's as good as I had hoped for, really. But you let me know your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, leave me a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button with the bell icon and share this video with anyone who you think might find it interesting, informative, helpful, so on and so forth. That's the best way to support the channel. For now, I will see you all in the next video. Peace, Guardians. Invisible Guardians, you'd love to see it.
Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours. Zone A lost. Enemy has zone advantage.
Get the fuck out of my way, teammate. What are you doing?
Wage war like a true fight. Double down.
Jesus, okay. Spawn flop, I guess? So that's not good.
Zone A captured. You have zone advantage. That's a power play. You took them. Now hold them.
That turned out okay. Wasn't exactly sure who I wanted to target with that Thunder Crash, but it worked out.
With 10 Titans like you, I can build all 7 columns and shake the pillars. You captured Zone B. You have zone advantage.
When it hits, it hits.
Zone A lost. Enemy has advantage. Zone C captured. You have advantage. Zone B lost. B. You have zone advantage. Now you're fighting with heart, Guardian. Two for one. Together as one. I love it. Now you're fighting with heart, Guardian. Together as one. I love it. Two for one. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Two for one. Uh-oh. A fire team that fights together, stays together. Double down.